Hello and welcome to Charlie's Diary. This is Justy, and today we will be continuing with our tactics series. Like last week, what we did. Last week we covered what was that? High pressing. I mean pressing and uh, your mentality, right? Yeah. Last week we covered that. Today we will be dealing with your uh, passing styles, okay, which is your short passing and your long passing, and then we'll be dealing your marking style. All right. Also, I will be doing a test match, okay, test match between a player, and we will see how these examples with examples we'll see in real time what happens in game. Okay. So in passing we have this two kinds of passing, which is your short passing and your long passing. Okay, both has its merits and demerits. Okay, in short passes, what we normally see is you kind of actually deal everything in triangles. Okay, so in triangles, I mean between the players, a small set of triangles are formed. Okay, the purpose of short passing is to keep the possession, okay, possession of the ball by maneuvering it on the ground, okay, on the ground. They don't play over the air, okay. So the idea is to keep the ball circulating, okay, which in turn actually secures the passes and gives you an opportunity to attack. So it is with short passes, your formation has a key necessity to form triangles. Okay, so depending on your formation, the passing style actually from which player to which player it goes actually depends on your formation style. Meaning the combination between lines are used, like your DC line, your DM line, your MC line, your AM line, and your ST line. So within these lines, they form small triangles, and those combinations are really used up for creating an opportunity, and then they form into an attack. So that's how short passes work. Okay. Now next is the long passes, which is actually the complete opposite of short passes. They play in the air and they play deep, bypassing lines. Bypassing lines means your DM and MC line is bypassed, and directly the ball is passed to your AM line and your ST line. Okay, so what happens there is the formation becomes compact. Okay, and when you bypass the lines, the third man determines the manner in which the striker is played. By which it means that your AM players, they actually decide how the game goes, and there will be a sudden shift in point of attack. Okay, so that is what happens in long passes. And in long passes, what you must understand is there will be a loss in possession of ball. Okay, so basically it is actually ball oriented defending, which means the players run out of positions. Okay, so with long passing, if you try man marking, they will not be entirely marking or sticking with each other, because the correct distances between the teammates has to be followed with long passing. So the pressure system actually kind of alters with the possession of the ball. That is why you lose possession in long ball. Okay. Next up is marking, which is basically nothing but a specific player or is actually assigned to a certain area or to a certain player. Okay, so that is basically known as marking. Now, first, what we have is zonal marking. Zonal marking is actually a strategy which emphasis on a player assigned to cover a certain area of a pitch instead of specific opponents. Okay, the idea is simple. The opposition player, when in his defensive zone, he will try and mark him or tackle him. Okay, and if the player moves into another zone, if the player is actually moving into another zone, then the responsibility becomes the another players, okay, whosever zone he is in. Okay, so that is what zonal marking is, and what you must really do there is, you should try and compact the spaces between players, so that the lack of rigidity is not lost. So and it's harder when you actually put less space between players. If you can see, you should create intersections between two players, so that the compactness actually stays there. Okay, next up is your man marking, which from the name itself you'll understand. Basically, one player is actually assigned to mark that one player, the opposite player, for the whole uh, play. Okay, for the whole 90 minutes or whichever time you are actually insisting on playing. So wherever he runs, he will actually follow him and mark him with precise, influence. So the thing is, the marking will be very tight and restricts the opposition players for one-on-one situations or scenarios. That is what happens. So this requires high stamina and high match fitness. Okay, because every player will be actually running up and down, and so if one of your players is actually not that good in physical stats, then that side becomes really the weak point. Fatigue really affects the player. So that part has to be proper with man marking. Also, you only get one-on-one situations. Unlike zonal you can actually put two players if you have an intersecting area there. So that part is not available here. And then another thing is, players actually move into uncomfortable positions because of the role that they are not suitable. Like a DC will have to go and mark in the opponent's attacking area. Likewise, okay. So that is one part. Okay, so that's all about man marking. Now we will see the test match which I talked about. Okay. Now I'm playing a 121% guy and I'm only 113%. I thought, why not? Let's take a big guy. Anyways, so I'm not going to, bore you with the whole match. But I'll try and, cut spaces where it is important and, show you what is necessary and avoid all the other things. Okay? Okay, so straight away it's a penalty. And I missed it. Nice. So, with marking and passing, you can easily make out what is happening everywhere. With zonal marking, you can easily find it out by checking your formation integrity. Okay, so when the play begins, if there is a section where I'll freeze that screen and actually show you what happens. Okay, so your whatever formation you are actually playing, that formation integrity will remain. Like see, like this one. Whatever formation that my style which I implied is actually, that integrity remains in zonal marking. So when your opponent plays, now see his actually formation integrity is also remaining, which actually gives you an idea that he is using zonal marking. Okay, and with passing you can clearly identify which one is long passing and which one is short passing, because if the ball is being played through the air, then it is long passing. Now like here it is a short passing. See, players from the wings, short and a goal. It's going to be a goal, because certain plays you can clearly identify which is a goal and which is not. Okay, so now with short passing you can clearly identify that by actually analyzing it a little carefully. You can see that ball is passed in triangles, okay, between your combination. See here again, your passing, your formation integrity still remains, okay, which basically gives you a clear idea of, even for the opponent also, he's using 3 4 5 1. 3-5-1, and it is still remaining. It's actually a false 9. What he is using is a false 9. That is why that 5 came in between. So that gives you a clear idea of how to read your opponent's tactics. Okay, this is just passing and marking which we are talking about. Actually, you can get a whole lot of idea. See, now here this is actually a preparation for man marking. You can call it like that, because the formation integrity is not there and the players are moving into the opponent players formation. Okay, so because I am playing long balls here, that is why, like I mentioned in the theory part, if you try and play long balls, your players will actually slightly run out of position just to keep the distance between the teammates. That is why players are not sticking with each other, but this is actually man marking because your formation integrity is not there. Okay, so that is one way. With experience I mean, when you start watching your friends play a lot of games, you will actually kind of get an idea of what I mean by that. Okay, now here also you can see that the opponent play has begun and our formation integrity is lost, and you can see the players are actually trying to approach and mark individually. Okay, so that is one way of noticing what kind of tactics your opponent is using. Okay, all right. So what is left is a long ball. I think I've split one further. It's coming actually. A classic example of a long ball point. I mean shift of attack. Okay. So what happens is the ball will be bypassing the lines. The bypass. Let's see this one. The ball will be bypassed. Intermediate lines will be bypassed, and directly the ball will be crossed long to your AM. Okay, this is called the drop ball. Okay, and a drop ball is pushed through forward to the left winger, and from there he actually scores a goal. So this happens only in long balls. The drop ball while playing in the air. Short ball also the long ball happens, but it will come through the ground only. Okay, so you can actually negate all these with suitable counters. Okay, you can actually counter man marking, you can counter zonal marking, you can counter short passes, long passes, everything can be countered. So write in comment box how do you counter all those things, and we can have a fun chat. All right, so that concludes today's tactics session, and we will continue with the same. We have a few more topics to deal with here. So all of you, please do like and subscribe. Okay, uh, and for those of you who missed the first part of the tactics series, I'll leave a link in the description. You can follow it from there, and please do join Iceman's Discord server also, because there are people who will help you with counter formations, your tactics, and everything regarding the game. Okay, and there was one more thing which I wanted to tell you. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the description for the Discord server. Okay, you can follow it from there. It is available in both iOS as well as in Android. Also, you can log in via internet. Right? So we will see more about tactics in our next video. Until then, this is Justy signing off from Charlie's Diary. Take care, guys.